Vash Venture back with another video, and on this video I wanted to talk a little bit about information. Now, we live in what a lot of people have called the information age, and there's a accessibility to information like no other time before. But for some reason, I don't quite know what that is, except for the simple fact of there's more people that scream louder over real information, and the simple issue with information clarity seems to be a real problem nowadays. And for some reason, like reviewers or like people that are more or less aimed not to have a bias or aimed not to sell us something, are fed lines. I mean, you can see this all the time in pretty much any news station. There's been countless clips out there of, alright, here's today's script to read. These are only the subjects that we'll cover because it's mathematically calculated so we can keep a job. Now, I've already talked about why jobs shouldn't exist, and I think that's more or less the same thing here, is that if people didn't have to get paid to tell the truth, they wouldn't have to get paid to lie. If we take the payment system out of information, we might actually get to the information side. So, it's just a weird system that we've gotten ourselves into as humanity, yet again, instead of using history, using some sort of fact, or at least, the measurable history that we can all agree on. Well, I guess as a scientific community we can all agree on, hence why the problem with this all information conversation that I'm having in the first place. So, if only we could have news systems or systems in place that were clairvoyant and just said factual, measurable data, as clairvoyant and as raw as we could really get. There's tons of news stations out there that are trying to do that, but they're still coded in, personal opinion. I try to bring a lot of fact to the table, but of course it's coded in my opinion. There's nobody needs to tell you at this point what the actual information is. That should be pretty easy to find. Don't just check Google one time. Don't check Google's top article. Imagine that. They're going to manipulate what they want you to see towards the top. A lot of critical thinking can get you past this. Just, I believe even college and high school, to some extent, tries to say, cite multiple sources. I think it's something that we all had to do. I don't know if anybody paid attention. Of course, this sounds like some 50s rant with education, and back in my day, education, blah, blah, blah. Which is kind of sad because realistically, it is a good conversation to have. I had 20 to 30 kids in a class. Now there's 40 to 50, as far as I'm aware. I don't know. But it seems like fact, not necessarily something we can lean on anymore as far as that word goes. If you search enough, you can find it. So, what I've done to kind of counterbalance all of this is I limit my exposure to bullshit. There's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of people with bias. It becomes very obvious. They're trying to sell you something. If people are trying to sell you something when it comes to information, they're doing it wrong. There's not really any great reason to lean on that information. Sure, take it in as what it is with your grain of salt. But yeah, let's all just pull out our phones or pull out our tablets or just jump on the computer real quick and be like, hold on, what you're saying is, I feel like it's bullshit. Well, it'd be bullshit, man, and figure that out. So, that's my message for today. Let's get some fact and information to rise to the top, because we're all going to be bullshit men. Till the next time, this has been Vash Venture.